what you're saying is that you guys figure out how to play matchmaker between a franchise opportunity and the person that might be interested. So you're basically putting those people together. And so, like, where did that come from? Like, how did that begin for you? Why did you choose that space versus, you got a pretty extensive background. What was it about that interested you and got you excited about it?
Yeah, for me, it's rewarding. I love educating. I love being a subject matter expert in a niche, and carving out half the market. I just saw such a need out there. So many individuals have this desire innately to be a business owner, to build something of their own empire, not someone else's. And, but they don't know where to start. And even on the franchising front, if you start Googling around, you're going to see every brand putting their best foot forward online and their marketing messaging. We're able to see what's going on behind the scenes, based on our experience, based on our relationships out there. We work with all the development groups, part of the largest brokerage system in the US. We're fortunate. We do, more deals than 99% of other brokerages. And it allows us access to the opportunities before others get to them oftentimes. So, we work with over 500 brands we represent. At any given time, there's probably 40 or 50 that I'm really, really a big fan of and can't wait to put in front of clients. But it's a great model. Our clients don't pay us a nickel, and we get paid by the franchisors on the back end, much like an executive search type arrangement. For them, it's a sales and marketing costs, and nothing gets passed on to our clients, and really allows us to sit on the same side of the table as our clients and really educate and guide them through the process.
Cool, man. Well, you sound like again, just reading about you, really interesting story. And I want our listeners, because just so almost 100% of our listeners are business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, you name it. And I kind of want to get to know you, though, know a little bit more about you. Where'd you come from, man? Where did you grow up? What did your parents do? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we were talking about before the show, we made the move from Jackson, Mississippi to Malibu, California. My father was in law school out there, and then we moved to Atlanta, where we really settled in, and I've lived most of my life, here in the city with wife and 3 young kids. But no, I was the oldest of 4, and my father was an attorney, so he'd split off and was on his own. And he never made it big, but he invested in his kids. He gave us a great childhood and upbringing, and but a lot of lessons learned for me of how business ownership works. And I think he would have benefited by having a franchise system, having that support that he didn't have. But no, went through. I got out, did some international consulting with Accenture, went through grad school, and again, did the corporate ladder, and really enjoyed it. I could definitely live within those 4 walls. But there was something, just that itch that I wanted to scratch. And we're seeing that amongst so many out there today. And, for those that are existing business owners, it is very common to, want to build out that portfolio and look for other opportunities to either complement or diversify what you're currently doing. And we work with tons of business owners across the country that are looking to expand, and oftentimes they don't know what they're looking for until they really start digging in.
What was your childhood like, man?
Yeah, childhood. So, played sports, did well in school. Looking back, just really was blessed to have a great childhood. And you hear stories of others that don't, and always feel for them. And we try to give back now in ways to support others that may not have had as strong of an upbringing. But that's a big piece of what we do. And I'm a big believer, Daniel, that to whom much is given, much is expected. And so if you've been given the opportunities and the education and the relationships and resources, it's not all about you, and you've got to get back. So, that manifests in different ways for my wife and I, and what we try to do in the community and through some organizations. And I'm taking my 10-year-old son. So we've got 3 kids, a 10-year-old, 6-year-old, and 3-year-old, taking my 10-year-old son down to Haiti this summer on a short-term mission trip, and really excited about exposing him, because I think we tend to live lives in the bubble, and, life really should happen when you get outside that bubble. So, I had some of that exposure growing up, and, but I was taught, like so many, hey, go earn a good W-2 income and go to grad school, and don't leave anything on the table. But I wasn't really taught entrepreneurship firsthand. That was something that came kind of later in life, and surrounding myself with people that had made it, or maybe were a step or two ahead of me, and I can learn both the good and the bad and the ugly from them, learn from their mistakes as well.
So, I mean, in today's world, having a college education, I talk a lot about this subject on the podcast because I'm always interested, and again, I talk to highly educated people and people that have no education. And so, or, formal education. And so we talk about this because I'm always interested to hear, the people that I'm interviewing, the guests on the show, how you feel about college and kind of the state it is today, and whether it's as important today as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. I definitely think it helps. I'm not one of those that says, oh, screw college. At the same time, I think there are ways to go around it. I mean, I see firsthand the need in the market for the trades. And, I think, gosh, if you're a young, motivated person today and you want to get into the trades, I mean, you can name your price and you have a path to so much opportunity. So I think that's more alive today, especially in the labor market, the way it is. So I'm a big, big fan and supporter of that. I had a great college experience. And so I do, there were memories, there were relationships that pulled from that, as well as just, some discipline that I learned along the way too. So definitely a fan of it, but no, I look at our higher education system today and what the prices are and some of the things that are being taught in these classes. And yeah, definitely not a fan with the trajectory that it's moving in total.
I mean, the truth is that most of everything today you can learn on YouTube. I mean, literally, we are in a virtual school every single day of our life. I mean, there's probably not a day that a day of my life that I don't watch at least something on YouTube, something I want to learn, something I want to get educated about. Somebody was asking me, I trade options, one of the side things that I like to do. And I'm decently successful at it. And I had a friend yesterday, he called me up. He's like, hey man, give me some thoughts. Give me some. I'm like, dude, just watch this YouTube video, man. You're good. I learned so much. And people will laugh at that because they'll say, well, wait a minute. You're not college. I mean, I made $40,000 last month, from a cup, punching a couple of buttons in my phone in my bed before 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So let's get this straight. I mean, there's a lot you can learn. And so and then to just see the outrageous amount of money that the colleges want to charge these kids that are, there's no way that most kids can spend $80,000 a year. So they've just priced, even they'll give them a scholarship for $50,000. It's still $30,000 out of their pocket. Yeah. Most people cannot come up with that kind of money. So they're really pricing people out of the market. But, so anyways, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you want to be a doctor, attorney, lawyer, obviously you got to figure out what you got to do to make that happen in college. I mean, there's always going to be a need for some sort of higher education. So, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I was with a group of doctors this morning, speaking and teaching them about this world of non-food franchising. It is fascinating what's going on in that industry as well, and just this desire to get things going on the side, maybe a side hustle, and or make the career jump, down the road. So we're seeing all sorts of backgrounds, that we work with. A lot of existing business owners too. So yeah, 100%. And a lot of our clients didn't go to college. Quite a few did. I mean, it really is a wide variety of those who are getting into the entrepreneurship.
What kind of money do you need to start a franchise, generally speaking?
Yeah, I'd say 75% of the deals that we do are between 125,000 and 300,000. Some are above that, some are below it. But, Daniel, you probably know so well. I mean, there are different ways to get into it. Probably a third of our clients are self-funding because of the record levels of cash on the sidelines. Probably another third are using SBA loans. That's a very, very common instrument to use. And we have partners that help our clients with all these different types of programs. One other one would be retirement funding. A lot of folks are taking their IRAs or 401ks, self-directing those through what's called a ROBS program, where they set up as a C Corp and then purchase the business with the retirement plan. Then I'm a big fan of portfolio loans. This is a little hack that I came across myself recently, and you probably know about it. But for brokerage accounts that are non-retirement, you can borrow, on margin essentially against those, let those continue to grow, over time. But you can borrow 50, 60%. And right now I'm paying 1.5% interest on those portfolio loans. And then I flip it into franchises or into real estate lending that I do on the side at 12 to 14%. And it's arbitrage.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.